Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We got another great edition of Bring It in the House podcast show where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. Get your meal. Got a fantastic meal in the house for you tonight. I'm your host, Millie Mills. Let's do this thing. This gentleman here, he reached out to me like a brother and told me all about his brand new station, WDBS. And I've been following him ever since. He's a broadcaster, journalist, community activist. Let's give it up for Mr. Donnell Ballard.
Woo!
Donnell, thank you so much for stopping by, man. Over 35 years of broadcast experience. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am. 35 years in broadcast. I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
I'm saying 35, but I think it's really close to 38 now.
Yes. That is amazing. We thank you so much for stopping by. We always want our guests to tell us where you're from. What's your alma mater?
I was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. This Fort Worth has always been my home. I did, when I got 18, I did leave Fort Worth and try to go to California to be a movie star, but that didn't work out. So I ended up coming back to Fort Worth. I actually wanted to go. I was heading to college in California to be a police officer. And of course, that ended up not working because I ended up leaving town and coming back to my hometown, Fort Worth. I got so sick because I started missing all my friends. And so I ended up coming back to Fort Worth.
To come on back home. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Come on back home. Yes. We're so glad you did because look at you now. You are the owner of the all new WDBS 87.9 FM and 1660 AM in the DFW Metro. And you have channel 49 TV station. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm going to say proud owner of the station because we got people like you who are on our station. So we're very proud of the program, and shout out to CW, our program director for the radio station.
Go ahead.
Who used to work for he used to work for KKDA. A lot of people don't know that, but he did.
All right. Well, I knew he was in the media. I'm familiar, because I lived in Dallas for a while, and so I'm familiar with CW Whitaker.
Right.
An amazing man. Yes, he is busy. I was reading your bio, Donnell, and I noticed that you also portrayed the beloved character Mother Diva on Casa 106.7 FM in the Dallas.
Hey, baby, this is Mother Diva. Sometimes I say, hey, this is Mother Diva, the sexy drag queen. Today we have the celebrity news, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that I started with DJ Reeves, Joe Soda, and the Soul Patrol. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah,
they was on KIC. I worked with Lynn Hayes.
Yes,
shout out to Lynn Hayes.
Shout out to
I work. You can talk to her about me. I work with her and Joe Soda and the Soul Patrol. And when I worked with them, I started out. It was weird because they found out about me. I used to call into the radio station, but they found out about me when I did the Jerry Springer show. And so they would call it, so Joe Soda wanted something weird and something wild for my segment. So he said, you know what, we're gonna call it the Homo Update. And the Homo Update became very famous back in the early 90s. It became very famous. Everybody was listening to us on 105.7. Everywhere I go, people was like, oh my God, I listen to you guys all the time. I love you guys. So that's how I got my name. I started with them, and then I went to 89.3 FM Community Voice, the voice of the people radio. I worked with DJ Reed on his show, and then DJ Reed had me doing entertainment news, and of course in my regular voice. And then all of a sudden, Concord 106.7, I was the only Black person working at a Spanish radio station. But they loved me so much. I remember calling the midday show, asking to speak to either the director or speak to somebody that's on the radio. And then all of a sudden, it was got his name, but he was the midday host Monday through Friday. And I asked him, I said, "Are you looking for somebody to do entertainment news?" He said, and then I found out about it through DJ Reed, because DJ Reed started working with them. But I had already knew DJ Reed started doing something different, so I couldn't work with him. So I was desperate. I was desperate trying to get somebody to let me do entertainment news. And then all of a sudden, they said, "Well, can you disguise to me what you do?" And I said, "Yeah." So I did it in 2 different voices. I did it in Mother Diva voice, and I did it in my regular voice. Well, he said the regular voice is okay, but I need something funny. And so that's when I started saying, "Hey, this is Mother Diva, the sexy drag queen. Today I got my yellow sexy dress on. And oh my gosh, let me tell you what's going on in the celebrity world." And this thing, I had to portray that I was living in Hollywood, even though I wasn't living in Hollywood. But the whole thing is they wanted me to pretend I was living in Hollywood to make the whole thing interesting. So I would say, "Hey, this is Mother Diva, the sexy drag queen. I am doing it big. Oh my gosh, I am in Hollywood. Oh my God, let's talk about the world of celebrity news." Well, that celebrity news became really, really big, and a lot of people started watching us do celebrity news. And that became real, real big. So I did that for maybe about 6 months to a year. All of a sudden, let me tell y'all, if you've never been in radio changes. It can change in a blink of an eye. Am I right? Yeah, I know you know. After 6 months to a year, after getting used to doing it, the radio station, the midday and the morning show, all of a sudden went out the air. Nobody knows why. But come to find out, they was going full Spanish. No more English. They was mixing with English and Spanish, but they ended up going full Spanish. So everybody that was on the radio had came to work that morning, didn't have a job. So the midday called me up and said, "Man, I got something to tell you, Mother Diva." I said, "What you got to tell me?" He said, "They're no longer on we're no longer on the radio. They closed the door on us." But see, they did not close the door that quick on the morning show. So Joe Soda, not Joe Soda. I was on working in the midday. After they closed, I called up the morning show. They were still on for another week. I called them up and I asked them, I said, can I do entertainment news? And they already knew that I was real big. So they said, "Yes, Mother Diva, come on and do it." But they didn't know if they was going to have a job. And 3 days later, they was gone.
Oh my
goodness.
And
so I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do something to get my name out there and keep my name going. And so I ended up not doing it. But then guess who wanted me to work with them?
DJ Reeves over at 89.3 FM.
I was working with him first before I got with them. But guess who wanted me to work with him? I started doing TV. They didn't want to call me Mother Diva, so they called me the two sisters that was working at 97.9 Ebony and Delight. Remember them? Yeah. Ebony and Delight. They wanted me to work with them, but they didn't want me to be called Mother Diva because that name was already taken. So guess what they ended up calling me? They ended up calling me the hip hop diva. So I ended up becoming the hip hop diva for 97.9 The Beat at night with them. Wow. And then they left 97.9 The Beat. They went to K104. Yeah. At that time, I was traveling back and forth because I was doing WBTV in Dallas, Fort Worth, and in Atlanta, Georgia. So guess who invited me to come to Atlanta, Georgia? T-Pain mother. T-Pain mother. Mother. Yes. Yes, the famous rapper. And I ended up working with them with their personal record label. And then they ended up doing some big things. And then all of a sudden, T-Pain mama said, I need you to come. So I came, but I didn't want to charge them a lot of money. So what I did was I told T-Pain mama, I said, you know what? Whatever you wanna give me. Just if you just give me a place to stay while I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And let me tell y'all, one thing I love about the people in Atlanta, they work together. The people in Atlanta, Georgia work together. Even though I didn't have a television production in Atlanta, even though my TV show was coming on, but a group of guys that I've been working with, they told me, they said, Mr. Darnell, we got some good news for you. I said, what's that? They said, we're going to be your television production for Atlanta, Georgia. And they end up following me. When they found out I was doing interviews with T-Pain Mama, it was so many famous people that was at her birthday party. You had Lil Wayne, mother there, all the mothers of all the famous rappers. Keisha Cole Mama was there, Beverly was there. All of these famous people was there. And the biggest magazine publication was there, Sister Magazine. And I got a chance to meet Lil Wayne mother. I got a chance to meet all these famous people. Keisha Cole mom, I met her, and I also met, oh my gosh, Nas. Remember Nas? I got to meet his mother, and it was pretty cool. It was cool.
My God.
But the interview with T-Pain mom, that was the most, oh my gosh, I think that was the best show I ever done. And then they had just moved in this big old house. And she told me, she said, you the first to come in my house. Mm-hmm. And we stayed over there. T-Pain brother, without T-Pain, baby mama cook. Boy, you talking about, you talking about T-Pain mama can cook. All of them was cooking some good food. We hung out all day. And then I got a chance to go to Walmart with T-Pain mama and Keisha Cole mama. And oh my gosh, they are just so down to earth. Oh, the Game Mama was there. The Game Mama is a hairstylist in California. And man, she is funny. Boy, if I tell you, if you had never met some interesting, funny people, and I got a chance to interview them, they was pretty cool. I'm going to be working on a book, and I'll be talking about all the crazy experience dealing with these crazy folks. Some good people too, but Too Short, very down to earth. I love interviewing him. Too Short is pretty cool too.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. I remember. So you've had a very, very extraordinary life in entertainment. Yeah. But you also have a really big heart. That's what I love about you. You got a great heart, and you've been doing work in the community.
I became a civil rights activist because I kept seeing police officers doing African American wrong. And so me and my cousin, I had been protesting since I was 16 years old. I started protesting. I started working with the Black Panther. I worked with them back in the day when Save was alive. He's my role model. Even though he passed away, he was my role model because when he was alive, he would encourage me to do. I worked with some strong Black men back in the day. People like Save, who was a Black Panther, Reverend Sutton, who was a powerful civil rights activist as well, who did not play around. And I also had an opportunity, a lot of people don't know this, I went to the Million Man March back in 1995. Right. When they had the first Million Man March, I was there. Mm-hmm. So I got a chance, but again, what motivated me was seeing them strong Black brothers like them. And at 16 years old, and he would take me to different places, like when they had the skinhead that was killing Black people in Carson County. I got a chance to go up there, even though we had to fight, but I had a chance to go up there. And that was pretty cool. And that's how I got my start. And I've been a civil rights activist ever since. We had done, my organization called United My Justice have done so much in the community. We done so much. I can't even tell you all the stuff we have done in the past, but we done a lot in the community. We got a chance to work closely with the Fort Worth Police Department. We worked with George Floyd family. That was pretty cool to be able to work with them. Me and George Floyd uncle became very, very close after we did the fight back in 2020. So it was pretty cool to get a chance. But we done a lot to change a lot. I remember talking to the Fort Worth Police Department, and they was telling me and my cousin, who's the vice president and co-founder, shout out to Nikki Pierce, the co-founder of United My Justice. I'm the founder. But I remember talking to the Fort Worth Police Department. They said, Mr. Ballard, you guys have done some major changes with our police department. Now, that made me feel good. I was almost in tears. And so a lot of changes happened because of us. Now, do we get the credit? Not for the Black community, we don't. But we did get it with the police department. They told us that we did a lot of major changes. And so that's what we do. We want to be able to work in the community, and we continue to work in the community. We continue to work with trying to also work with the Carmela Anthony case. My biggest concern now is this Nola case, this Nola Wells case. Yeah. I'm very concerned about it.
Yeah, so I kind of want to go back a little bit. You said that you founded the United My Justice organization, which led the peace. George Floyd protested to demand change. That's so amazing. Congratulations. How did you get that off the ground, Donnell? How did you do it?
Oh my gosh. It was very easy to be able to get the George Floyd protest started. We was the first to get, you can Google this, United My Justice was the first to organize this, because most people not gonna organize nothing until we organize it. Once we organize it, everybody come behind us. So a lot of people came behind us after we organized the George Floyd protest. We ended up getting a press release. We called the media up. They came out to our protest. They promoted it. Before you know it, we went from 400 people coming out to almost 3,000 folks came out. We protested for 2 weeks straight. 2 weeks straight till Justin came. And the young people didn't want to stop. But we had some ups and downs, because we also went on the West 7th Street Bridge. If you Google this, United My Justice is the one that blocked the West 7th Street Bridge to protest. Oh, it was scary. It was very, very scary. But we couldn't get the young people out, and every major media from all over was calling me up. Oh my God, what's going on? I had already went home, but we thought the young people was going to leave, but they didn't want to leave. So I was forced, Judge Mariella Hickson forced me to come back and try to get them off that bridge. And I remember that particular night. I remember Robert Ashley calling me up and saying, hey, Mr. Ballard, what is going on? We just saw you on the news, because they was blocking it. And it made nationwide news. CNN even cover it. They had, if you Google it, they had me in the middle of the street. I blocked the middle of the street, laying down. And they blocked. Yeah, I made nationwide news on every publication across the country for laying down in the middle of the street.
Wow.
That's how crazy.
What did you guys, what outcomes, what did you see change from your actions from the protest?
We worked very close with Bessie Price, who was the mayor at the time. We worked very close with the former police chief. We worked very close with them. So every month we will have different meetings and to talk about how can we make some real changes. Now, it wasn't a lot of changes, but it was enough changes for us to make some major changes. But again, it's starting back again, you guys. We starting to have police involved shootings again with African American. We just had a woman that got shot over the weekend. Then we also did the fight with the jail deaths. So many people in Tarrant County jail are dying every single day. So we're going back and forth about that.
Wait a minute. You have acting credits, film credits too. Tell us a little bit about that.
I did oh my gosh, this was so cool. At the age of 18 years old, I was so desperate to get my name out there that I would call every radio station to get my name. And I remember Stop Shooter, I did a big write-up about me. But anyway, make a long story short, it was, oh my gosh, it was crazy. So anyway, I signed up to audition for LIPA. I ain't gonna talk about LIPA yet. Necessarily Roughness, which was filmed at North Texas State University. And I got a chance to go there. But I'm thinking I'm just gonna have I'm thinking that when I get there, I was just gonna have no talking point. But they love my energy so much, they end up having me selling cotton candy. So I would go around. All right, we got cotton candy. Cotton candy. I be interested. We got cotton candy. We selling cotton candy. Cotton candy. Cotton candy. Cotton candy. Get the show cotton candy. So that was the part I had. Now they never did put that part in there, but I got paid. I got paid. I got paid a lump sum for just doing that part. I got paid maybe about $3,000.
That's great.
But they didn't put my. Oh yeah, somebody said, "Well, why did they put it in there?" I said, "I don't care, long as they paid me." And it was done by Paramount. It was done by Paramount. So after I done that, I ended up doing another one where I played an extra on Leap of Faith. They paid me, but it never was filmed at Las Colinas. Oh. You know what Las Colinas?
I used to live in Las Colinas. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you know what I'm talking about then. So that film was called Leap of Faith, starring Steve. I think it was Steve Martin, something like that. It was one of them. But anyway, that was back in the 90s too. So I did that film, and they never showed none of the film. We got paid for it, but they never showed but I got paid. So hey, and then after that happened, that's when I started saying, you know what, this is too much. I got to do something different. So I ended up calling Jerry Springer, the Ricky Lay, the Solid Jesse Raphael. Every last one of those shows I went on. But the Solid Show, oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about that. That was the worst one. They showed me on nationwide TV more than they showed anybody. It was the most crazy show. Guess what it was called? Husband Go to Boot Camp. Husband Go to Boot Camp. I wasn't even a husband. I was only about 19 or 20. Well, probably about 20 at that time. And I was living in the housing projects. I remember that. And they came and they sent a private contractor to come to my house. But now, remember, my story was not for real. My story was acting. So, but they wanted somebody that could really play a role. So I played the role of an aggressive man who abused his wife, because that's what the story they was looking for, storyline they was looking for. So my story got nationwide attention because on this episode I played the king of my household. So I said, I'm the king of my household. And if you look at my refrigerator, I put a picture of me in my refrigerator, letting my wife know I'm the king of the house. Whatever I say goes. I make my wife do my bath water. I make her do this. I make her do this. Whatever I say goes. And boy, that was at the house. Boy, but when I got to that New York, and boy, them women started going crazy. And my mama thought it was for real. She was so angry at me. She was like, oh my God, you are embarrassing me. Everybody's calling me up. I said, Mama, calm down. It's just I don't care. You shouldn't have done it. And boy, I got everywhere I went after it aired on TV. Sally said she started getting all of these. It wasn't even emails. Then it was letters. People were sending letters and telling me that they was angry at me. And I mean, I passed by this white woman. This white woman said, "You traitor! I hate you." And then people don't even realize it was fake, but people thought it was real. And then at the end of the show, I had to pretend that I changed my life. They took us to after the sergeant saw us. They had a sergeant that came. That you know how they do on the Solid Show, how they was doing the sergeant for the kids. Well, they had these big old men come to me. He said, "You traitor! You are a traitor!" This was a big man who was a sergeant, and man, it's called military go to boot camp. They made us go to military boot camp on the Solid Show. Husband go to boot camp. That's what it was called. That was the episode. And so I went to boot camp. And this man, he said, "I think you're gay. I think you are gay. I mean, oh my God. Out of all the people, they showed us on the bus going to this abusive place where a women's shelter, and we had to do, I remember doing 100 push-ups. They showed me, I couldn't even want to do the push-up. They showed me on there, out of all the people, I was the worst, I was the one that they showed on there the most.
Oh,
I was the one that they showed. I said, damn, I'm a good actor. If I can do this, and man, I played my role. I got a lot of support with that, but a lot of people thought it was real, and we got, oh my gosh, it was crazy. Yes. It was crazy.
But then you ran for mayor, and you showed your political edge.
Last year.
Yeah, last year. And you finished up, got your certification in broadcast school last year. So you've been
well, here's the thing. I got a routine how I did everything. So you know. Okay. At the age of 50, I did what did I do? At the age of 50, I ran my first marathon.
Okay.
At 53, what did I do? I graduated from school. At 54, I went to college. It's one of them. I can't remember, but it was one of them. But and now last year, everything happened last year. At 25, I mean, at the age of 53, 54. Now, I graduated. It's one of them. I can't think of it. Everything happened last year, though. I ran Fort Worth Marathon. That was pretty cool. Now, I'm thinking about running next year for city council, but I don't know yet. It all depends on how my health do. But it was a good experience for me. Got a chance. Out of 8 candidates, I came in number 5.
Awesome. Yeah. If you just tuned in, we are talking to the extraordinary owner of WDBS radio station. He's a broadcaster, journalist, community activist, Mr. Donnell Ballard. Is there anything else you want to say? Any shout outs or anything before we wrap up?
Yes, I want to say a shout out to the Grand Prairie NAACP, and I'm gonna tell you why. I want to show you this right here. I want to show the audience this right here. Y'all take a good look. Y'all take a good look at my collection from the NAACP. Look at that.
Wow. Those are beautiful.
And that's from my first marathon of running, doing my first Cowtown Marathon. I did my first Cowtown Marathon and at the age of 50 years old. So
you said Cowtown. I like that. Cowtown. I like that.
Yeah, Cowtown Marathon. I ran my first marathon. That was one of my goals. I said, you know what? I'm 50 years old. I want to do that. And now I'm 55 years old now, and I'm just excited. You know, I tell the young people all the time, and I think I'm some encouragement for my son 19, because I told him, I said, son, if I can do it at 50, you can do it at 19. And that's what I try to encourage a lot of the young people, that I don't care how old you are, whatever you want to do, just do it. Don't talk about it, just do it. And that's what I did. I didn't talk about it, I did it. And that's for me.
You did it. All right.
But look, I'm not through, because I want to go back to school and get my doctorate to become a doctor, not a medical doctor, not a physical doctor, but just to get my doctorate to add that to my name. So that's before I die. That's what I want to do.
You can do it, Donnell. If anybody can do it, you can. And I thank you so much for stopping by, man. This is Donnell Ballard. Woo! Don't forget to check him out. Are you still doing mornings on WDBS?
Right now, I stopped because I'm so busy trying to keep you guys' program going. My focus right now is just helping you guys. That I'm just focusing on you guys, making sure you guys' program stay the same. And then we got Dr. Stevens, who's working on a new 30 minutes program. I'm gonna be working with him on his program, trying to help him produce his program. And then we have another new guy from Chicago that we're gonna be working with him. He's gonna be doing a sports show. So I'm just whatever. I don't have a certain spot right now. So right now I'm working wherever I can work at right now. But my biggest focus right now is helping other people to get their program. We want to make sure your program continue to go on every Saturday at 6 o'clock. Y'all can check her out every Saturday at 6 o'clock right here on WDBS Radio.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Donnell, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for the interview.